For our main event of the evening, prepare to welcome the fighters as they make their way to the ring. First, I introduce to you the former WBA Junior Featherweight World Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, here comes Julio Gervacio.
All right, former champion. This kid is out of Puerto Rico, former WBA Bantamweight champion. He has had 4 losses in a career that has seen him win 30 fights, and of the 4 losses, 3 of them have been in title fights with Murata. I know you're very high on him, and this is a real mark that Marquez will be testing himself against tonight.
Well, you know, I was talking to Antonio Curtis, a matchmaker at the Forum last week, and I said, what about this fight? Is Marquez biting off more than he can chew? He goes, well, let's see if he can fight. Let's find out if he can fight.
Well, Antonio works on that principle, you know. This guy's got a record that's beautiful. We'll put him in with somebody. We'll find out just how good the record is. And here's Gervacio coming into the ring out of Puerto Rico. He is a talented fighter, 28 years of age, 5'6", and a guy with a record of 30 wins, 4 losses, and 2 draws, and 23 knockouts. All right, here's Jimmy Lennon Jr. again.
And now making his way to the ring, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the featherweight sensation from Mexico City, introducing Juan Manuel Marquez.
Well, Marquez is a talented youngster, make no mistake about it. And he is facing perhaps the toughest fight of his young career. He has a record of 14-1, 11 knockouts, 5'7" in height, coming in at about 125.5 pounds here tonight. And this guy can not only hit, he's a good boxer, good puncher, and he gets into the ring and wants to fight and promises to put on a good show. This could be a great fight.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to this one quite a bit, Tom. As you see Marquez get in there, he fought his first 8 fights in Mexico, then came to the United States. He was sensational on a card that we did at Caesar's Palace against Israel Gonzalez. The first time we ever saw him, his first fight in the United States. We said, let's see more of this guy quick.
That's right.
And he has already rolled up a very impressive record.
All right, Nacho Beristain will be in his corner when the thing gets underway. Jimmy's got the rest of the introductions. Let's go to the ring again.
You've got to move it.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin our action at this time, I'd like to ask you to rise for the singing of our national anthem. In the ring to lead us, we have one of the talented employees here at the Arrowhead Pond. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Pond's very own Ann McNiff.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And thank you very much to Ann McNiff. Ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us across the nation on Prime, we welcome you to our featured bout of the evening, brought to you by Forum Boxing Incorporated and the Arrowhead Pond, along with Budweiser, the undisputed king of beers. This bout is sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission. The chairman is William Eastman, vice chairman Willie Buchanan, executive director Richard DeCure. Introducing to you the judges. Scoring this bout from ringside, Lou Moret, Pat Russell, and Marty Denkin. And a referee in charge, he'll be giving instructions after the introductions, Dr. James Jenkin. All right, fans, here we go with the main event of the evening, a featherweight special attraction scheduled for 10 rounds of boxing. Introducing to you first on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing red trunks with white trim, he joins us from San Juan, Puerto Rico. He weighed in at 126 pounds. His record includes 30 wins, 4 losses, and 2 draws, with 23 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the former WBA Junior Featherweight Champion of the World, introducing Julio Gervacio. And his opponent across the ring on my right. He is fighting out of the red corner this 10-round main event, wearing blue trunks with red trim, joining us from Mexico City, Distrito Federal, Mexico. He's weighed 125.5 pounds. His record is a fine one at 14 wins, only 1 defeat, with 11 big wins coming by way of knockout. Introducing Juan Manuel Marquez. Once again, it's Dr. James Jenkin, our referee in charge of this bout.
You interpret for me.
Okay, fine.
You tell these gentlemen that both trunks are high. Low blow here. Low blow here.
No.
You tell them I give them both strict warnings. No rabbit punches, no kidney punches, no low blows. All right? Shake hand, let's go.
Tail of the tape, as we check Marquez, he's 5'7", Gervacio 5'6". Gervasio's a half a pound at the weigh-in heavier at 126. He's 6 years older, and he has 2 inches in the reach department. And he has an edge in experience. Marquez is going to find out just how good he is. And Marquez is very good. His record 14-1, 11 knockouts, but he's not had to go the distance very often. He's gone 10 just once, 8 only twice, so he's not accustomed to being involved in long, drawn-out, bitterly contested bouts. And, of course, Gervacio is capable of doing just that, keeping him around for a long time or perhaps even knocking him out. He's got a big-time punch, 23 knockouts out of 30 wins. This guy from Puerto Rico can fight.
I think we were sold a bill of goods on that height, Tom, and they have Marquez an inch taller than Gervacio. When they were standing up at ring center, it looked like Gervacio was a good inch at least taller than was Marquez.
Yes. I think it might be just the other way around. Upper body strength, it would appear that Marquez has the edge in that department, but there's not an ounce of fat on either one of these two.
Marquez, outstanding record, Tom. He had that KO of Ulysses Chong that we showed you early in the show tonight. However, his previous fight was a very controversial win over Julian Wheeler. He's got Gervacio in a little trouble here.
He hurt him. Smacked him straight on with a good jab, and he had a right that followed, and he hit him again with a jab, and Gervacio felt the effects of it, make no mistake about it.
Back to that Wheeler fight, he seemed to be outboxed that night. Referee Larry Rosadilla had a very controversial stoppage of that bout with Wheeler ahead on point.
I can't quite understand that, yeah, with about 7 seconds to go in the fight, Rich, huh?
Wheeler was holding on. He was hurt in that round, and that seemed to be the reason that referee Rosadilla stopped the bout that night. He had warned Wheeler for holding, but still the bout was near an end. He was not in the kind of trouble that would necessitate, it would seem, a stoppage of the fight, and Wheeler was winning the fight on points.
Yeah.
So that was controversial, and again, that showed some chinks in the armor of Marquez that night. That showed that a good boxer with a lot of movement can give him problems. Now, Gervacio is not necessarily that kind of guy. He likes to come at you.
Gervacio took a pretty solid shot, and not in the last exchange, although he did feel the blows thrown by Marquez. He was stunned by Marquez about a minute ago with a solid left hand that Marquez caught Gervacio with, almost on the point of the chin, had him wobbly for a moment or two. Right hand high in the forehead. I'm sure Gervacio felt that.
Yeah, Gervacio's legs are stiffening every time he gets hit with a right hand from Marquez. Those punches are having an effect on him.
Marquez in the blue, trimmed in red. Gervacio in the red, trimmed in white. Round one with 10 seconds remaining here. These are featherweights. Opening first round, an interesting one. We'll be back.
Experience the excitement of your favorite Olympic events. Now in commemorative cans of Bud, Bud Light, and Bud Ice. Better yet, if you get one of these special gold cans, you could see the games live in Atlanta. Look for Grab the Gold details wherever you see Bud Family Olympic packages. Just another part of the Bud World Party.
Hey, fight fans, the decision is in, and it's unanimous. The all-new Forum Boxing Sportswear is a winner. The finest in sweatshirts, t-shirts, satin jackets, and caps will make you look and feel like a champion. Don't be counted out. Get your Forum Boxing Sportswear at the Great Western Forum or by calling 310-673-1773 now. Round number two, judges at ringside, Marty Denkin, Pat Russell, Lou Morat, the referee, Dr. James Jenkin. Nice first round, I thought, for Marquez, Rich. I thought he landed the more solid punches and the more effective ones.
I agree with you, Tom, and I did not like the way that Gervacio took those punches in round one. I thought he was affected almost every time he got hit with a right hand. Now, keep in mind that Gervacio has been a professional a long time. He turned pro way back in 1985, and the World Championship that he won in 1987 when he relieved Luis Espinosa of the championship. So that was a long time ago that he won the crown. But still, as late as March of last year, Gervacio fought for the world title. He went the distance, lost a pretty good fight, too, to Hector Acero Sanchez, a fight in which he had Sanchez in big trouble. And one of the rounds, I believe the fifth round of that fight, he had Sanchez that appeared ready to go, but he could not get him out of there, went on to lose a decision to Sanchez. So he's been fighting at a high level, certainly a lot higher level than Marquez has ever visited so far in his young career.
No question about it. And in our opening comments tonight, while Fernando Paramo was back with Marquez, and he talked with him about the difference in experience and the upper echelon that Gervacio represents in this division. And Marquez was quick to admit that, yes, this would be a very important fight for him from that standpoint, that he would find out just where he belonged in this division, if indeed he's capable of fighting guys of the stature of Gervacio. And so far, he certainly looks as though he can. But it's very early. We're in just round number two of a scheduled 10-rounder. Gervacio's in the red, trimmed in white, and Marquez in the blue, trimmed in red. Marquez has a gaudy record of 14-1 and 11 knockouts.
One thing that we've seen from Marquez in his fights, Tom, is usually his first couple of rounds, he starts off rather slow. Then his punches begin to get stiffer and stiffer and stronger. Usually around the third round, he really begins coming into his own as the punches begin to pick up in power. He gets usually better as the fight wears on.
Not always, but in many of the fights we've seen, when he gets hit, it seems to galvanize him into action, too.
Right, yes. He'll come right
he gets
back.
nailed and then really jumps at you.
He does not let you enjoy the advantage at all.
No.
Gervacio looks to be waiting for something here.
Yes. Wasn't that right hand that Marquez threw? He could have waited a longer time for that. As I look at Gervasio's face, I'm trying to... He reminds me of somebody. I'm trying to think of who it is. It might come to me on the way home when I'm driving up the freeway. Marquez having another good round, landing some big-time shots. Gervacio indicating, come on, the fight's right over here. Marquez says, I know where it is. No love lost here so far in the first two rounds. And it would appear, as we follow Marquez back to his corner, that he's more than holding his own. Nacho Vera standing there with him.
Está gozando lindo, pero
long-time successful fight manager.
And now beginning to gain the reputation here in the United States that he has carried in Mexico too. Everyone realizing what an outstanding conditioner and strategist and tactician is Nacho Beristain.
You know, when you look at him and just the way he puts his hands on the fighter's face, you get the impression there's a great rapport between this man and the people that he talks to. It's almost a father-son relationship. And look how Marquez looks at him. Across the way, on the other hand, we have the corner of Lalo Medina in there with Gervacio. Marquez, it would appear, although ours are certainly not official scorecards in any stretch of the imagination, would appear to have had the best of the first 2 rounds.
One thing to keep in mind about Gervacio is he has not been very active recently. He fought only 1 time all last year. He fought once so far this year, just once last year.
Gervasio's in the red trunks, trimmed in white. Marquez in the blue and the red. Marquez is 22. Gervacio is 28. Gervacio out of Puerto Rico.
Marquez lost his first fight of his pro career, Tom. He was disqualified in the first round on a headbutt in a fight against Javier Duran. And then he has reeled off the 14 victories in a row after that.
These guys are featherweights at 125, 26 pounds. Very strong, well-conditioned. Marquez looks to be a bit stronger upper body-wise. I'll tell you, Gervacio is really put together. It looks like that left hand may have caught him right down around the liver. Rich, it almost lifted him right up in the air, didn't it?
Yeah, and I like what Marquez is doing so far in this fight, Tom. He's looking much better in terms of being a technician in this fight than we've seen him in other fights. And certainly in his fight against Wheeler, when he just appeared lost in that fight as to how to handle a guy who could box in front of him.
It's quite obvious that Gervacio is well aware of the sting and the punching power of Marquez, who has knocked out 11 opponents out of 14 wins. And while he hasn't been as active as Richie pointed out to you in recent years, Gervacion's got 23 knockouts out of 30 victories. So he too has got some punching ability.
And Gervacio, Tom, is showing some of the earmarks of a rusty fighter. He's having trouble getting off. When he does, his punches are not thrown with a lot of snap. He is not sharp yet. And sometimes he looks in front, looks like he wants to throw a punch, he can't deliver it. That's usually a sign of either a fighter aging, who can't get off, or a fighter who's rusty. But see those last 2 punches, how he missed? That looked like a rusty fighter.
He is 28, in case you're wondering about the age. And there's a nice flurry. Solid shots, first to the body and then upstairs. Not 1, but 2, 3, and combinations thrown by Marquez. So far, Marquez having a very nice rounds 1, 2, and now here in round 3, and he might have Gervacio in trouble. Hit him with a pretty good right hand, but Gervacio now brings the fight to the middle of the ring. After James Jenkin cautions him about holding and hitting. Clock ticking away in round 3, and that'll bring us to the close of the round. We'll be back.
Fed up with sports on strike? Don't hurt your head over it. Strike back with a sports video collection that'll be a smash in your home for years to come. The totally awesome sports collection from ChoiceMark. 5 incredible sports videos for just $19.95. Just $19.95 and you get Sports Blooper Mania, the lighter side of baseball, incredible plays, pro sports bloopers, and amazing superstars. 5 different tapes with exclusive footage, much of it never before seen on TV. You'll laugh. You'll cheer. You'll cringe. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back. It's not available anywhere else, so get your credit card ready, pick up the phone, and call now.
Call 1-800-537-8500 now to get the totally awesome sports collection for you or your favorite sports fan. 5 incredible videos for one low price of $19.95 and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Call 1-800-537-8500 now. That's 1-800-537-8500.
Let's take a look at some of the action, and look at the right hand, a straight right, thrown right from the shoulder. Good leverage and great quickness by Marquez, Tom, who I feel is fighting a sensational fight so far in these first 3 rounds, and he came on stronger in that 3rd round, and from a technical standpoint, this is the best we've seen the kid look.
Yes, he's had 3 very fine rounds in our opinion. I share your thoughts in that regard to open up this fight. And, of course, the question mark was in the dressing room before the fight, and may still be. Does he have the experience and the ability to fight in this division against this type of opponent? Gervacio is considered one of the best in the division, has been, former champion, a guy who knows how to fight, clever, crafty veteran at 28. So for Marquez, this indeed is a real high point in his young career, and so far he has handled it beautifully.
Well, Tom, Gervacio has been stopped only once in his career, and that was way back in 1989. So keep that in mind as he gets hurt here on a couple of occasions by this youngster Marquez.
Marquez is 22. Gervacio in the red and the white, 28. See Dr. Jerry Buss across the way looking on. Fight night at the pond. We're down the freeway about 45 miles from... good, solid shots by Marquez and working to the body well, Richmond.
Yes, and he's varying his attack, and as we mentioned earlier in the earlier round, Tom, he's beginning to pick up steam. His punch is getting stiffer. This is the common way that it goes with young Marquez. His punch is getting harder and sharper, and Gervacio is just not getting off at all.
No. Marquez is getting off first and landing the stiffer of the punches. Gervacio missing more often than not. Gervacio catches that beautiful left hand right to the body and came right back up with the hook to the jaw. A double hook. Mr. Garza had to go 10 very tough rounds in a very difficult fight for him to get a unanimous decision over Francisco Sota. Now young Marquez, another one of the top young prospects in forum boxing, in against a tough veteran.
I like the way Marquez is going to the body in this round, Tom. He's really dug some terrific left hooks to the body. One thing you can say, it would seem, like that learning experience we saw with Nestor Garza go through in that earlier fight in which he was unimpressive. Well, you know, Marquez had his learning experience those 2 fights ago against Julian Wheeler. He appears to have learned the lessons very well. Look at this.
He's caught Gervacio with a couple of solid left hooks, right hand, and Gervacio is down. The count is at 3 as Gervacio gets up looking for the referee. It's at 7, 8. Says to Gervacio, "You okay, Dr. James Jenkin?" There's the bell.
Oh, Tom,
well,
what a
excited.
performance.
Yes, indeed.
What a performance this kid is putting on here at the pond.
Yep. I couldn't agree with you more. He has worked beautifully to the body. And watch now as they're trying to get Gervacio rejuvenated back in his corner. Solid shots.
Gervacio has not been stopped, remember, in 7 years. This is a former world champion, and look at Marquez just teeing off on him. Straight punches. Look at the timing. Look at the accuracy. A brilliant combination of what a salvo of blows landed by Marquez, and all of them right there, all on the money. He was going down before those last couple of punches. He didn't need to land those last couple of punches. Gervacio was already going down.
There might have been 10 blows thrown there, and he might have landed rather solidly with 8 of them, Rich. And they were to the point of the chin. They worked to the body, lefts and rights, beautiful combinations. And out they come for round number 5, and Marquez must be feeling pretty good inside about how he's performed against a world-class competitor in his division, and Gervasio's got a lot of making up to do.
You know, this card had been kind of unofficially been titled Tom the Night of the Future Champion.
Yeah.
But it could be that we're seeing one here in action right now.
Gervacio down in round 5. The action, round 4. You're watching action in round 5 here at the pond in Anaheim. Wherever you might be across the width and breadth of the country, we hope that it's a good Monday evening for you. Tom Kelly and Rich Marotta, Fernando Paramo, Nice crowd on hand at the pond.
What's interesting, too, Tom, is that Marquez has been able to land powered punches while backing up. You know, Gervacio has been the aggressor. He keeps moving forward, pushing Marquez back, but Gervacio is not landing the blows. Marquez is landing his shots as he backs up, and he lands them with good power.
Yes, indeed. Then he steps in, throws a left, right, and he's got him hurt again. Got Gervacio hurt again with a solid right hand. Gervacio's on the ropes, going to have to fight his way past this one. May have regained some composure, but Marquez hurt him again. Now working with an uppercut. He's got him into more trouble. Richie's thrown every good punch you can think of, from rights and lefts, uppercuts. He's worked to the body. Look at that. And look at that solid combination, left, 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 right, and nailed Gervacio with all of them.
And in the previous exchange, too, Tommy showed some smarts because he landed a punch, an uppercut, and then he stepped all the way around Gervacio and landed another punch after that.
This is round number 5. He had Gervacio down in the 4th. The right hand there connects, although Gervacio was drifting back. Marquez truly having the best of it here in this very important bout for him.
Well, Marquez showing some blood now from the right nostril. I can't recall Gervacio landing a punch, actually, in this round. I don't know where it's coming from.
About it. That's right. Gervacio is not bleeding, but he is a bit wobble-legged from time to time, and he has taken some solid shots.
Well, I remember how excited we both were, Tom, the first time we saw Marquez in that fight at Caesar's Palace against Israel Contreras.
Right.
And, man, I'm telling you, I'm feeling that same kind of way tonight as I see Marquez, to see his development now in a year and to see what he's doing in this fight. Very exciting.
Now, wasn't that the same card where Barrera knocked out Eddie Cook
Yes,
the same night? Yeah. Round 5 coming to a close, and Gervacio catches 2 right hands.
What are the steps to winning in the NBA Finals? Step 1.
Juan Manuel Marquez exploded right at the end of round 5 again. There's that straight right hand. He came forward, landed the straight right hand again, and Gervacio was in trouble as the round came to an end. The bell saved him. I thought it was a big enough round for Marquez to where I actually gave him a 10-8 margin on the round, Tom.
But he certainly landed the best punches again. While he did not put Gervacio down, it looked as though he was going to go. And the last 2 shots he hit him with, Rich, Gervacio appeared to be stunned and almost, I want to say, helpless. He did not do anything toward bobbing, weaving, moving away. He never threw a punch back in return. He might have been very, very fortunate that the bell sounded when it did. It saved him, I think, from possibly going down again.
Gervacio just doesn't look like the same fighter, Tom. Doesn't look like the same fighter who gave Hector Acero Sanchez fits in the title go just last year. He looks tonight as though he's getting old in one night.
Well, it does happen more often than not in this sport than in any other. Here's a left hand by Gervacio trying to fight his way back, but Marquez very quick, bouncing off the ropes, and now they're right above us. Blows are raining down one on the other, but Marquez giving as much as he's getting, and Gervacio looking as though he's almost out of desperation, trying to find some punch that would even this fight up or put this kid down or do something to swing it his way.
Right, it kind of looked like, hey, I'm going to go for broke right now. Go for broke effort by Gervacio, who did land a good stiff left hand to get things going there.
Not a knockdown. He slipped and fell. Gervacio, that is. He's in the red, trimmed in white. Juan Marquez, another solid set of punches. Nice combinations by Marquez.
Remember, back in the first round, you could see those legs of Gervacio stiffening up when he was getting hit with the right hand right away.
Gervacio got nailed again coming in, yet there's a mouse of considerable size being formed right under the left eye of Marquez. Working nicely to the body. Nice stiff jab by Marquez. Gervacio throws a right hand to the body. Going to be a pretty good sized mouse under the eye, Rich. Marquez has got a...
Yeah, he's showing marks of a fight in a fight that he's dominating completely.
Yes. Boy, he's digging that left hand to the body whenever they get up close and personal. This is round 6 coming to a close. Gervacio was down in the 4th round. Looked for all the world like he might get nailed in the 5th. Dr. James Jenkin jumping between the two. And the fight is on, Rich. The fight is on. I mean, Gervacio really is a man on a mission now. He's got a lot to prove, apparently. We go over in the corner, and you can see the welt under the eye here on Marquez. It is a beauty.
At the end of the round, Tom, as Gervacio had some success, but near the end of the round, Marquez was coming on again. He landed that right after the bell. Gervacio didn't like it, and it looked to me like Gervacio was going to walk after Marquez, and Marquez was walking to his corner.
Dr. James Jenkin was in there very quickly to separate the two men, keep them apart. Looking at Marquez, if you were to turn and look right into the camera, you can see that abrasion up there and the welt under his left eye. 60 to 52, Marquez. Well, one of those rounds he gave it made it a 10-8. I don't know how the other judges might have seen it at ringside. But round number 5, I think you made it 10-8, did you not?
Yeah, actually 4
wait a minute,
5.
4 and 5, yes, both of them 10-8.
But I thought the last round was Gervasio's best round. At least he had some moments in that one, Tom. And from a competitive standpoint, that last round
was his
the best by far. Even if he lost the round, I thought he lost by just a narrow margin. He might have won the round on some of the judges' cards, but even whether he won it or lost it, he fought much, much better in that 6th round.
So here we are in round number 7. Another corking good fight put on by Forum Boxing. John Jackson, matchmaker Antonio Curtis. Good right hand by Marquez, and he had Gervasio's feet in the air, and he's banging away now with a good uppercut. He's got Gervacio hurt.
That was a good variety of punches, Tom. Marquez really varies the attack. Head, body, hooks, uppercuts.
And he's landed with almost everything. I mean, in dramatic fashion. He has worked beautifully to the body with the left hand, and not just single punches, double hooks, back with the right hand. He has really done a remarkably fine job against a very good fighter.
And that eye is swelling up. Yeah, that is really a bruise. Yeah. You're talking about a big-time black eye tomorrow for Juan Manuel Marquez. He'll be lucky if he can get to the 10th round without that thing swelling
Slamming on him, yeah. Gervasio's taken some solid shots, and yet his recuperative powers for a guy 28, one who's been out of the ring for a year, are pretty good, Rich. He's a little cautious here now in round number 7. He went down in the 4th round. Marquez meets him coming in, cuts him off at the pass with solid shots.
He just beats him to the punch consistently, Tom. Marquez looks Gervacio looks as though he wants to throw. He's starting to throw a punch, but before he can get it there, Marquez has already landed something straight and clean to his face.
And oftentimes not one but two. And by the time Gervacio gets it put together again, Marquez has belted him a couple of more times and moved out of immediate range. Boxing him beautifully and out punching him, no question about it.
Gervacio's moving quicker now. He's moving faster toward him. He wants to launch an offensive attack if he can, but he just never gets it started.
No. Marquez has certainly had the best of it. His punches have been harder, seemingly, and he has scored with more of them. He's had his man down in the 4th round and very nearly again in round number 5.
Well, that was an interesting case of Marquez turning a miss in a bad moment in the ring into something positive.
He's got him in trouble again as we come to the end of round number 7. He's belaboring. Gervacio will be back.
A friend of mine told me, try America.
7, another big rally for Juan Manuel Marquez. He had Gervacio in trouble, got him up against the ropes, and he just unloaded again with everything in his arsenal. Body punches, head punches, hooks and uppercuts, straight crosses as well. Marquez had Gervacio in a bad way at the end of the round. Strangely enough, Gervacio, when the bell sounded, lifted up his arms to the crowd, but perhaps just in exultation that he was able to get through the round.
Well, that's the second time in this fight where the bell apparently, or the ending of the round, has saved him from going down, and there's a to this fight that we thought was quite one-sided by young Manuel Marquez. Juan Manuel Marquez, a left hand and a right hand, and down went Julio Gervacio, and when his head hit the canvas, you could hear the thump. And the doctors are in there now talking to him. They're going to get him up, put a stool under him, I'm sure, make sure he sits down. He's bouncing around. So the KO win in the 8th.
What a sensational performance, though, Tom, by Juan Manuel Marquez. The kid has just improved by leaps and bounds. An unbelievable case of development in a year by young Juan Manuel Marquez, who showed himself tonight, certainly the best we have ever seen him look.
Oh, no question.
What you like about it was as it came against the greatest opponent of his career. As we take a look at the end of the fight here, Tom, it comes right after Gervacio actually lands a right hand, but a good counter shot by Manuel
That
Marquez.
uppercut with the left hit him right on time, Rich. Watch his head go. There it is. And then a right that just kind of set him back. And the way his head hit the back of his head hit the deck here, why
It's that second concussion, you're right, Tom, that can really hurt a fighter. He's out as he hits the ground, and then he hits that second shot, and it just bounced off the canvas.
Well, Dr. James Jenkin wasted no time. He said it was over. The doctor was in the ring immediately. There's Gervacio, and there, of course, is Marquez. What an impressive win. He'll have that rosebud under his left eye to remind him about the fight, but he was at his very best tonight in a young career that shows great promise. We'll be back to get the official time in a moment. In the 8th round, he throws an uppercut with the left hand that nailed Gervacio, point of the chin, down he went, his head thumped against the canvas, and the fight was just that quickly declared over. Jimmy Lennon Jr.'s got the official time. Jimmy, if you will.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 35 seconds in round number 8. Our referee in charge, Dr. James Jenkin, stops the contest. He's the winner by way of knockout, the featherweight sensation, Juan Manuel Marquez.
Well, we've not seen him look better, Rich, as you pointed out. I couldn't agree more wholeheartedly. He just seemed to be at the top of his game. Punches were just where he wanted to throw them. An outstanding variety of hooks, straights, right hands, jabs, uppercuts. He's got a big mouse under his eye, but he can look at that in the morning and smile and know that he has come a long way in this division.
Oh, yeah, and it looks like he may be the package, Tom.
Well, we're talking about champions of the future. This young man would appear to have a great future in store. Here's Fernando Paramo with Mr. Marquez.
But Manuel, you were the one that were saying that this was going to be your true test. Was this your true test? And if so, how did you come out? Te habías dicho que esta iba a ser tu prueba, y si esta fue tu prueba, ¿cómo te calificas tú en ella?
Pues fue una prueba bastante dura, que gracias a Dios la pasamos bien, y a la condición y a la preparación, y hay que seguir adelante.
He says that this was in fact a test, that it was a very hard test, and thanks to his preparation, he was able to go through. We're going to take a look at the what was at the fight, and tell us what is going on at the knockout. Dinos qué está pasando.
Ahí un contragolpe, lo conecté con un upper de izquierda, y cayó Gervacio.
Oh, he says that he was able to get him on a counter punch, bring him up with a hook, and hit him with the right, and it was over. On this particular, he did hurt you at the beginning of the fight. También te lastimó en partes de la pelea.
Sí, me lastimó como 2 o 3 veces, pero pienso que metía mucho la cabeza y el referee no se percató, me jalaba mucho del cuello y el referee lo amonestó 2 veces, pero no, yo pienso que eso no es pretexto para o sea, que salí golpeado. Pues sí, muy buen peleador.
He says that yes, he was hurt a couple of times. He was also grabbed by the neck, although the referee didn't say much, but he says that's no excuse. Gervacio is a very good fighter, a very tough fighter, and he just feels good that he's won this fight. What happens to you now? What plans do you have? ¿Qué planes tienes ahora? ¿Qué quieres hacer?
Pues seguirse preparando, eso es lo esencial para ser un buen boxeador, seguir entrenando, y pues lo que venga será una pelea más difícil con un clasificado y seguir adelante para aprovechar un título o tener la oportunidad para un campeonato.
Okay, basically he says that he wants to go and now start fighting some of the better fighters.
Fernando, excuse me, Fernando.
Yes, sir.
Would you ask young Mr. Marquez of his relationship with Nacho? It looked like they were almost like a father and son in the ring.
Dice que con tu relación con Nacho Beristain es como la de un padre con un hijo. ¿Qué sientes de eso?
No, pues es un señor muy agradable, me cae muy bien, muy respetuoso y me siento feliz de tenerlo en la esquina porque es un gran manager y con mucha experiencia.
This is basically that yes, it is a very respectful relationship. He feels very glad that he is with him. He knows that he's a guy that has tremendous experience and that he is very happy. Now you look at the championship world out there. Is there anybody in particular that you would like to go after at this point, or are you going to just try to get more experience? ¿Ves todo el panorama? Hay muchos campeones. ¿Hay alguno que tú quieras en especial o quieres agarrar más experiencia?
Pues son campeones muy buenos. Yo creo que hay que agarrar un poquito más de experiencia para enfrentar a cualquiera de los campeones que están aquí, ya que por sus méritos y que por su capacidad y todo, por eso son campeones del mundo.
He says basically there are tremendous champions out there. He would like to get more experience. He says that's one of the reasons they are champs is the fact that they are very capable. He wants to get a little bit more experience before he faces them. And with that, back to ringside.
Thank you, Fernando, and our congratulations to Juan Manuel Marquez. His education continues as he takes the next step on the road that many believe will lead to a world title.
And there you see the 23-year-old phenom with a record of 16-1. That one loss, his pro debut, coming by way of